Hey, this is Ed Tracy with OCTracy.com, and we're at the meeting for Snapping Shoals board meeting, and it's an outdoor affair, and you can see the line snakes through. It's a very important meeting because there are people here who are contending the current board of directors. And word on the street had it that they were green environmentalists trying to get in, and they and take over the board, and they were to vote the board not to use any more coal or oil or natural gas in order to make electricity, and that would drive up the cost of electricity by hundreds of dollars a month to the ratepayers. And there's a tremendous turnout here today, and you can see inside. The crowd is just huge here today. I'll try to pull back here a little bit so you can see the stands. Grab my bag here and then try to walk in. Hey, this is Ed Tracy with OCTracy.com, and we're at the meeting for Snapping Shoals board meeting, and it's an outdoor affair, and you can see the line snakes through. It's a very important meeting because there are people here who are contending the current board of directors, and word on the street had it that they were green environmentalists trying to get in, and they and take over the board, and they were to vote the board not to use any more coal or oil or natural gas in order to make electricity. And that would drive up the cost of electricity by hundreds of dollars a month to the ratepayers. And there's a tremendous turnout here today, and you can see inside. The crowd is just huge here today. I'll try to pull back here a little bit so you can see the stands. I'll grab my bag here. See, they have tables and food and drinks, and it's their annual meeting. I think they have all kinds of games in the back, you can see. Find a shady area. Like an old-fashioned fair. It's not the sound in the camera, it's actually the speaker system here is not good, and no one here can hear.
Grand prize this year, by the way, is right over there in the Ford truck. The bylaws require that we receive a report on the number of members represented at this meeting and the existence of a quorum. I'll ask that the minutes reflect that Chairman White reported that there was a quorum present when he called the meeting to order. The bylaws also require that cooperatives send out a notice of this meeting. You may recognize that it was contained in this annual report, and I asked the cooperative secretary, Dr. Sharp, whether this notice was mailed to all members. It indicates it was mailed to all members not less than 10 days before the meeting, and I think we can also attest to that by your presence here today. The next formality we need to take care of is action on the minutes from last year's annual meeting. Dr. Sharp is glad to read those minutes if you wish. However, a motion would be in order to dispense with the reading of the minutes. They can also be reviewed at the cooperative's headquarters. Do I have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes? We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes, approve them. Say aye. Any opposed? No. The ayes have it. I'd like the minutes to reflect that the prior minutes have been adopted. manager who will provide his report right after the close of business. So the next order of business is the election of directors. I'll turn the meeting over to Mrs. French, General Counsel for the cooperative, to hold the election of the directors.
Good morning again. The authorized number of directors and the manner of their nomination is fixed by the bylaws. Nominations may be made by the Committee on Nominations or by petition signed by 50 members from the district of the director they desire to nominate, and then submitting that petition to the cooperative so that it is received not less than 30 days prior to our annual meeting today. The bylaws provide that the board of directors is divided into 3 classes with 4 districts. This year, the Committee on Nominations had the responsibility to nominate people to serve as Class 2 directors from each of District 1, District 2, District 3, and District 4. Pursuant to Article 3, Section 4 of the bylaws, the nominating committee met on June the 7th, 2012, and nominated Mr. D.L. Pete Knox for District 1, Mr. G. Anthony Morton for District 2, Mr. Walter Johnson for District 3, and Mr. G. Morris Jr. for District 4 to serve as Class 2 directors of the cooperative for terms of 3 years beginning today until the annual meeting in July of 2015. All of these nominees are current directors of the cooperative. 3 nominees have also been nominated by petition. Mr. Albert J. Rosell Jr. for District 2, Ms. Cheryl Moore Mathis from District 3, and Ms. Beverly K. Shipley from District 4. Dr. Sharp, have there been any other nominations by petition? Thank you. In accordance with the bylaws, the Credentials and Election Committee met on June 27, 2012, and approved the Class 2 nominations of Mr. Knox for District 1, Mr. Morton for District 2, Mr. Johnson for District 3, and Mr. Morris for District 4 to serve as Class 2 directors based on their affidavits and qualifications. The Credentials and Election Committee also approved the Class 2 nominations by petition of Mr. Rosell for District 2, Ms. Moore Mathis for District 3, Ms. Shipley for District 4 based upon their qualifications and affidavits. There is only one nominee for District 1, so a motion would be in order to elect that nominee, Mr. D.L. Pete Knox, by acclamation. Do I have a motion? A motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Thank you. I would ask that the minutes reflect that the members have elected Mr. Knox to serve a 3-year term beginning today until the day of the annual meeting in 2015. The Credentials and Election Committee is currently counting the ballots that were cast for the contested elections in District 2, 3, and 4. As soon as the result is certified by the Credentials and Election Committee, I will come back to announce that result. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura. It's now time on the agenda for any unfinished business from last year. Does anyone have any unfinished business to bring up? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. Does anybody have any new business to bring before the meeting? Do we have, if anyone has any new business, we have a microphone set up.
Good morning, members and everyone on the board. Mine isn't a question form. My name is Linda Grant. I live in Newton County. I received the email, so it's a question. And the email said to me, not said, I read it. There's people calling Snapping Shoals EMC members, informing them something about a Washington plan. that the funds are not being motivated properly and it might affect us all in our, bill payment. And I wanted to know, is that being handled? Is it true? What's become of that? Because I received an email to that effect, am I right? That you send out emails? Anybody know about that?
General Manager Brown.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Your question was regarding an email that you had received in regards to Plant Washington.
Yeah, it was regarding to Snapping Shoals out to the members here that it would be, it would affect our payment, monthly payments, and
Yes, ma'am. Plant Washington is a coal plant that back in 2008, Snapping Shoals and a group of 9 other EMCs went in together to explore the possibilities of developing a coal plant here in the state of Georgia. Obviously, our job is to provide reliable, affordable power to our members, and in doing that, we have to evaluate all available resources. And so Plant Washington is something that we've continued to stay a part of. We recently announced that our commitment to see this thing through the permit phase has ended. We are no longer funding the efforts of Plant Washington. We still will remain a partner in Plant Washington, and by that partnership, what that gives us is the opportunity, not a requirement, to purchase power if we so choose. But at this point, it's still just like any other resource that we'll consider in our mix. It gives us an opportunity to participate so that we can maintain our commitment to our consumers as far as low cost,
yes.
reliable power.
And one more question. Will we be able to vote whether or not you can make that decision? Do we have any say? No.
I mean, you're governed by a board of directors that...
Oh, okay, great. We trust them.
Right.
We love them. All right, thank you.
Yes.
You answered my question. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Any other new business? Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Julia Barr. I'm also a co-op member of Snapping Shoals, and I have related questions to the last member. I do understand that we as co-op members have contributed about $11 million toward this fund, toward the plant. I did have a conversation with our current CEO and asked the question, what happens to this investment if Plant Washington is not being built? That would be my first question. The second one is related to the financial end that she was inquiring about. I've heard that the power from Plant Washington will cost as much as double the market rates because natural gas is cheaper. Can you pledge that Snapping Shoals won't sign any agreements to buy power from Plant Washington in the future unless the cost is capped at a reasonable rate? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harper. I'll address your first question as it pertains to the money that's already spent towards the permit effort. As you've indicated and as we've shared in press releases and everything announcing the partnership that we did with the Taylor Equity Fund, that we had spent $11 million. One advantage of that partnership is that we will be able to recoup our money if the plant is constructed. And you are exactly right. If the plant is not constructed, the membership will have to foot the bill for that $11 million. The positive thing from that standpoint is that it won't be an all-in-one city. We can spread those costs and mitigate any impact. But when you look at it and you evaluate the need for electricity, available resources, and understand the fact in order to meet affordability and reliability, you have to be diverse. And that means you've got to consider all resources, whether it be nuclear, coal, natural gas, renewables, conservation, energy efficiency. And Snapping Shoals is for all the above. We haven't ruled anything out. Solar power, obviously wind, maybe along the coast, but as far as in the state of Georgia, we into something that just won't work. But we have to be open and honest about the fact that our responsibility is for when the consumer goes over that light switch, they flip it, it comes on and stays there. In order to ensure that reliability as well as low cost, you have to consider all options. And at this point, we have not committed anything as far as output from plant washing. What we have done is secured that optionality and flexibility such that if Plant Washington is one of the better means to meet our commitment to our members, which is low cost and reliability, then we will consider it. Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Is there any other members of new business to bring before the meeting?
My name is Jake Howard, and I'm a member of the co-op here in Rockdale County. My question is this: we understand the need for diversity. We understand the need for planning ahead. Have any of the other options for supplying the power that this co-op is going to require, has it entailed the investment as has the Plant Washington investment in advance? In other words, are we also investing in the future, in green, in natural gas, in atomic or nuclear? Are we spending money in those areas as we have on Plant Washington? Thank you.
I won't have to give my speech. To answer your question is yes. I mean, we're for all of the above. Snapping Shoals from the standpoint, we have committed to be a part of the Vogel expansion in Georgia, Vogel 3 and 4. We've committed to a combined cycle unit, which is a gas unit, through our generation cooperative, Overcome Power. We have committed to a biomass facility. So we are committed to other resources than Plant Washington at this point. And at this point, we have not committed to Plant Washington. What we committed to is flexibility and optionality. If Plant Washington is something we need in our mix, we still have that option. But yes, to answer the question, we are dispersed in our resources. Diversification is key to us, and it's key to maintaining low rates and reliability.
Thank you, Brad. Another member?
Good afternoon. My name is Lee Connor. I'm with Snapping Shoals EMC. And I wanted to ask about the technological advances that Snapping Shoals is investing for the future. As we as consumers are in a more Android, iPhone type world and pace, how is Snapping Shoals planning to pace with these technological advances to make it seamless and more beneficial to all its members?
The question was about the technological advances and how Snapping Shoals is going to utilize those.
Keep pace with that.
Right. Are you going to address it? It's about technological advances and how, what steps Snapping Shoals is making to keep abreast of those and deliver communications or any particular
Apps, droids, iPhones. I notice you have things on the web, and you have different pay locations, you have the ranches, but many of us are wireless. Many of us, it's more convenient now to just pull up your phone, pull up your laptop, and do most of your business versus waiting in the mail or going to an actual branch.
Right, and if you'll read your annual report, we are moving in that direction. It's just right around the corner, being able to reveal where you can pull up on your phone, you can look at your usage, you can
that, or I know that this is in the works, but I was hoping that.
Yeah, it's before the end of this year, I can promise you that. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Another member?
I'm Sarah Doty, and I'm from Newton County, and I am a Snapping Shoals member. My question is, in terms of this Plant Washington thing, I understand coal is supposed to be shipped from Wyoming. I mean, that's a carbon footprint or a huge cost to our environment just shipping it. And I wanted to know, I mean, I understand all businesses want to have the best product, the most reliable, for the cheapest cost, but if the trade-off is higher doctor bills because we have nasal problems and all that sort of thing, there's really, it's not cheapest because you're just pushing the expense off into another part of our personal budgets.
Again, thank you. Thank you.
Can you answer the question about why coal is being shipped from Wyoming?
Obviously, there's no coal in Georgia, so you have to go where the coal's at. And Wyoming, power information.
And how many miles away is Wyoming?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, and would you agree that maybe there are areas of the United States that have coal that are closer than Wyoming?
And the part of Plant Washington, it is designed to burn a 50-50 blend. So Powder River Basin as well as some eastern Illinois coal. So, you know, there is optionality with Plant Washington to not only burn Powder River Basin, but also some eastern coal as well. So you do have that flexibility.
And of course, we do know because it's been in the media that Plant Share, which was Georgia Power's last coal plant, puts out more COs than any other coal plant in the country. What are you going to do about that? That's a pollution that's
I mean,
dangerous.
obviously the Environmental Protection Agency is addressing those things, so they come out with strict guidelines that you must meet those standards.
And as the federal budget's been cut and the inspectors have been cut, the inspections aren't happening, and the pollution is.
I can assure you that,
I'm sure you're compliant,
yes,
but I'm also sure that the inspections are not all that good.
I'm James Baker from Henry County. I'm a retired railroader. Now, Powder River coal is low sulfur. Shipped in 90-car trains, and it's cheap.
Thank you. My name is John Rivers. I'm a member. My question is, we've been paying for many years now these blocks of green power, the additional charge on our bill, which we're happy to do. The question is, what percent of electricity that you distribute is generated from those sources, please?
your question is regards to renewable energy, what percent of our portfolio mix is renewable? Approximately today is roughly about 0.2% as far as the mix. And we're working every single day to evaluate various opportunities as far as renewables. We actually have excess renewables. Anyone in the crowd that's interested, you can call up and you can buy a block of green power. We've got a biomass plant coming online towards the end of this year. And so there's several other things that are in the works as far as green energy. Yes.
Thank you, Brad. Do we have any?
Go ahead, sir.
I'd like to comment just one moment on the power supply issues. Plant Vogtle 1 and 2 is 30 years old. That means that the decision had to be made about 35 or 40 years ago to choose that supply. We don't make power supply decisions in a few minutes or a few days. We have some of the best engineers in America work and establish what will work the best in the long run. We are vulnerable, unfortunately, to our governmental officials changing the rules frequently, and our knowledge increases, so what seemed like a good thing yesterday, we may find out sometime in the future is not as good. I want you to know that we take this very seriously on your board of directors, and we appreciate your support and patience, and we're glad to have your inquiries anytime. The management and staff who are much better qualified to answer this in a one-on-one situation where you can get all your questions. We'd like to entertain a motion to be adjourned.
I just don't want it to blow up the camera.
Have a motion, to have a second.
I need to move them over here.
Motion and a second. All in favor of adjourning the business meeting, please
Are
say
you
aye.
catching these people that aren't getting a chance to speak? The guy back there.
Finish his brief report about the condition of your property.
Yeah.
I feel like I've already gave my speech. Good afternoon. I'm Brad Conyers, President and Chief Executive Officer for Snapping Shoals EMC, and I'd like to welcome you to our 74th annual meeting. Reliable service at the lowest cost possible has been the commitment of this cooperative since its inception back in 1938, and it is as strong today as it was back then. One way that this commitment is measured is through our low rates. And the sound business decisions made by the directors who elect to guide this cooperative have allowed us to maintain these low rates. I am proud to stand before you today with the results of the latest Georgia Public Service Commission's residential rate survey. According to the 2012 survey, your co-op's residential winter rates were the second lowest at 500, 1,000, 1,500, and 2,000 kilowatt hours among Georgia's 42 EMCs and Georgia Power. Your co-op's residential summer rates were the third lowest at 500 and 1,000 kilowatt hours, and on the fourth lowest at 1,500 and 2,000. In fact, the average Snapping Shoals EMC member with a monthly usage of 1,500 kilowatt hours saves more than $300 per year when compared to the average Georgia rate company. The savings increased to $498 a year when you compare us to Georgia Power customers. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud of the fact that Snapping Shoals has some of the lowest rates in the state. I can't stress enough the importance of fuel diversity when it comes to meeting the challenges of maintaining affordable and reliable electricity. Please understand that there is not a one-size-fits-all solution to future generations. Optionality and flexibility are keys when it comes to meeting the future load requirements of this cooperative. Nuclear, gas, coal, renewables, and energy efficiency all have to be a part of the equation in order to maintain low rates for our members. That is why we're participating in the plant local nuclear expansion. We're participating in the Oklahoma Power Corporation combined cycle natural gas facility and a land gas and biomass facility. And that is why since 2007 we spent nearly $6 million towards the energy efficiency and conservation efforts and $11 million towards the permitting of Plant Washington. I am pleased to tell you today that Plant Washington has received all of its permits and that Power for Georgians has executed an agreement with Taylor Energy Fund that releases Snapping Shoals EMC from future capital commitments to the Plant Washington project. We will remain a partner in the project, giving us an opportunity, not an obligation, not a requirement, to purchase power once the plant is constructed, as well as return the capital that we have invested. Another huge part of our ability to maintain low rates is due to our hard-working, professionally trained, and dedicated employees who strive to maintain a high level of service for you. I am truly proud of every member of the Snapping Shoals team, some 230 strong, and appreciate their tremendous efforts in helping control costs for your cooperative. Some of them are out here today and can be recognized by their yellow shirts. If you recall, last year was red. That bulldog red, we had to get some yellow jacket yellow here this year. So, how about a big round of applause for all of our The 2012 report shows the co-op with stable equity position of 42%, total assets of $219.2 million, nearly 92,000 meter accounts served by 6,144 miles of distribution line, and an average usage per meter account of 1,736 kilowatt-hours per month. I encourage you to take advantage of all the energy-saving initiatives featured in your 2012 annual report. I also encourage you to review the message to our members from the chairman of the board and the CEO of your neighborhood. One of the benefits of being a member of Snapping Shoals EMC is that as a non-profit organization, Snapping Shoals capital credits or margins, which are revenues that are over and above the cost of providing service to electric co-ops customers, routinely refunded to its members from the co-op's board of directors for purposes appropriate to do so. For 2012, the board of directors approved the return of $2.8 million in capital credits to its members. The members' 2012 refund was based on the members' electric energy usage for the years 1993 and 1994. In closing, thank you for joining us today and participating in the business of your electric co-op. We are very proud to be your electricity provider and will continue working hard every day to ensure our commitment of providing reliable service at the lowest cost possible. Lowest cost possible is met. I will now turn it over to our VP of Business Technology, Louis Blackman, to conduct the prize drawings. We will draw the ticket from the truck first to ensure that everybody present has a chance to win, but I will not announce the lucky winner until the end of the prize drawings. And we'll need 6 small children to assist us in the drawing. Will we get 6 gifts? And thank you for your time today.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that makes it stand all that easy. But they were making an effort to bring things out.
Okay, we're going to have the ticket for the truck, and that will be announced at the end. So I'm going to start with our second prize, which is a Sony Bravia 32-inch flat screen TV.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's going to be ticket 164788. 164788. Hold your hand up or wave if you have that ticket.
Oh yeah. Here he comes.
Where is he?
He's coming down. He's got a blue shirt on.
The next prize is prize number 3, which is a Hamilton Beach Electric Night. Ticket 10